Demon Slayer.
Okay, does anyone have any like first comments?
Uh, I guess like demon. What neon green and neon pink haired lady is nice.
Neon pink. What the hell?
You know
Oh,
what?
the
Yeah, the
freaking
Hashira.
The one with the biggest
Yeah,
boobs.
yeah.
female
Oh,
simp.
well, you don't have to say it out loud. What?
The
But like,
female simp.
Yeah.
Female simp.
I found some really weird dojinshi for Demon Slayer.
Oh really?
Yeah. It's
is this a not safe for work podcast or what?
yeah.
No
Well,
one freaking watches our podcast.
yeah.
So
Like
it doesn't.
we can say whatever we want,
Cool.
but yeah.
Well, I'm gonna keep it wholesome and say Nezuko is the cutest thing.
Bro, it is.
She
Like,
is.
dude, like Nezuko is like the first instance where I've like actually understood like the whole like no lewd rule for like certain waifus. I get it now.
Yes.
I get it now after seeing Nezuko. Before I was just like just lewd what you want. What do I care? But like I understand now.
Okay, so right. A lot of people like have this debate on whether Demon Slayer is actually good because it's like think about how like would One Punch Man be as famous as it is now without like the amazing animation?
Well, I think like for something like Demon Slayer, I feel like if you have to overthink something and like analyze like a story in detail for it to be good, well then that's not good. Like it's like the detail and analysis should just be a bonus on top of the good story. Now Demon Slayer doesn't have a whole lot of analysis and stuff going on. So I feel like like it shouldn't
Sure.
you shouldn't need that to be good. I think like I guess at least for me, I don't really like at least when I'm watching something, I don't really analyze stuff myself. I kind of just like let the anime YouTubers do that for me, and I watch their video essays to derive an opinion. 'Cause I'm not gonna like analyze every tidbit because I don't have time to do that, and I'm also don't want to. But yeah.
Because like there are like a lot of people who like consider Demon Slayer like the storyline like kind of basic.
Well, yeah, but I think I think like things being basic is like I think that's kind of a shitty take because like for instance I guess you could say not really because of the wackiness, but like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, like at first glance it doesn't look basic at all. It looks complicated, but as far as like the structure of the story goes, it's very basic. It's like like the first part is literally can be summed up as good versus evil. There isn't like any complex gray area. It's just good and evil, and then like fate. It's a very basic story that's been told 100 times, but the reason why it's good is that in execution, it is the way it's executed and how like certain ideas it uses a basic frame to to make like certain complex ideas. Is that a good way to explain it? Like it's yeah, but I guess like with Demon Slayer, well, I guess JoJo's a bad example because it is like although it is like the stories I guess basic, like there are other parts that are pretty deep and there's a lot of symbolism. But I guess in Demon Slayer it's like I don't think Demon Slayer is trying to be something that's like super in depth. And I think like if for instance like you can apply the same thing to like how people criticize a lot of modern music for being dumbed down and not as like as intricate, but then again I don't think like modern certain modern music like the big whole thing of like Cardi B's song WAP. Like that song like that piece of music, it's not trying to be like, it's not attempting to be Freebird or some like hit. Well, even though it is, I think like it's what it's trying to do. It's just trying to be kind of funny. It's like it's not trying so hard to be something it's not. And I think in that case, like we shouldn't judge things. we should judge things on what they're attempting to be, not what they are, if that makes sense. Like Demon Slayer, I don't think is trying to be like the next like JoJo or like what's like Hunter x Hunter. So it's not trying to be super intricate. It's just it's at least to me, it's just entertaining, and that's okay.
That's a really good point. I never really noticed that, like, the whole, like, analyzing thing, and that Demon Slayer doesn't do that. It just, like, goes straight to the fight.
Yeah, and like that's okay. Like it's and the story is not bad. It's like sure it's something that's been I don't even know if it's done before. Like maybe like you could argue that the structure is done before, but at the end of the day, like it's characters that it's not like it's copying another story. It's different characters, a different setting, and it's demons. Like it has its own world, and even if it is basic, like that's just the structure. It can still be. There are other things that it has that goes for it, like as in the dialogue or the characters, and I don't know. I guess like I think a really toxic part about the anime, just like art in general, is like this idea that things need to be super grand and great to be good. But something like Demon Slayer, and which is why I think because like Demon Slayer, like I'm repeating myself, but it's not so grand, and that's so I don't like when analyzing. I think it's good. I think it's okay. I think it's entertaining. It's entertaining, and it doesn't need to be more than just entertainment.
Well, I think the entire shonen genre is meant to be just like entertaining. There's not supposed to be like a deep story behind everything.
Yeah.
Sure, like the author could be like, oh, here's some deep history on why this thing is that, or something like that. But like shonen is just supposed to be, oh, here's a show that like little kids are like to appeal to the audience of little guys, really.
like Parasite being a kids show.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, of course.
Have you watched Parasite, Harrison?
No, I've seen some of the clips. I just assumed it was a shonen, so I guess that worked out. But yeah, I've heard that it's not very kid friendly. Well, then there are a lot of shonen that's not kid friendly.
Yeah. But like, there's like the ones that like are Naruto, One
like
Piece,
Dragon Ball Z,
kind of stuff like that.
I think for me, I very much dislike the categorization of using the word shonen to describe so many anime, because it literally just means like fighting, show with fights. But like that's way too vague. I feel like it does a really poor job of conveying the value or what you're getting from a show, because saying that something is shonen is just saying that there's fights. But there are so many like pieces of media in American media or Japanese media that just have fights in them like all over the place. But in other forms of media besides anime, they're given different genre names outside of just they have fights. So I feel like certain things like putting, say, like One Piece, Naruto, and like say like My Hero Academia and like JoJo all in this like one category, like they're all fairly different shows, and they all convey different ideas. Like I remember like Attack on Titan for me as a show, and like well actually no, a better example would be Attack on Titan, JoJo, and like Dragon Ball. They're all very different. Like the only thing they have in common really is that they have fights. That's about it. So I feel like the way that anime handles genre, this could just be like my lack of hearing any other name for genre, but like I wonder if not, I would hope that there would be other genre classifications outside of just it has fights or it doesn't have fights.
Well, I mean, like, shonen is, like, the Japanese way of saying, like, you say, like, James Bond movies.
But like
an action movie.
Like an action movie, yeah. I mean?
I
Although, I think, like, even, like, well, I even, like, I have a criticism even for, like, action movie, because, like, action movie, like, that's very vague as well. Like it's not just in Japan. Like in America, the way we classify something as action, that's just like, I don't think that really, like for instance, or I guess you can have that, but I think what they should do is it shouldn't be identified as action. Like for instance, in like for and I relate this to music because music genres are what I know most about. In music, like you have something like say like rock and roll. That's a very broad genre, but we don't really like we acknowledge it as something as rock, but we don't, call, say like Green Day and like, say Led Zeppelin the same thing. We know they're rock, but we call Green Day by its secondary classification as like grunge and Led Zeppelin as like what are they like? I actually don't listen to Led Zeppelin. Are they like classic rock, something like that? I don't know, but like so like do is I don't know if it's just something I don't see or I might be ignorant. I'm not sure, but like do in anime like I wonder why don't people classify things by more intricate? Because like for me, shonen just feels like if you were to call every single rock and roll group a rock and roll group and nothing beyond that.
Honestly, I don't know enough about the genre typings to in Japan at least. But like usually when I associate shonen stuff, it's like whatever's posted on Shonen Jump Weekly.
Mm.
And so it's like whatever's popular basically.
Yeah.
Or like an action popular thing, which is like constantly includes like the big three or like what used to be
the big three from My Hero Academia.
So I just found a picture of more than one genre. So these are like examples of anime genres.
Are these like classifications that go like below shonen, like grunge to rock is like, or are these just like other broad genres?
I think it's just other broad genres.
They're
the only two
not exactly as broad because shonen could also be a mecha anime.
Yeah.
Something like that,
Yeah.
And then a shoujo could also be a harem or.
I guess JoJo could. Wait, did you say JoJo's a harem? Maybe. Like it's just like Joseph Joestar, like going through all the various affairs he's had throughout the story, up until he's like 70. Like it's like a 70-year-old man harem anime. But is it like? I wonder if it's just like an English speaker thing, like for like people of like the West or Europe, who just like only refer to it as shonen. Because I wonder if like in Japan if they get more specific when like talking about it. Because of course I only know about like what I know from other English anime watchers, and most of them all refer to like most fighting animes as just shonen.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, like an action movie could also be a comedy or whatever.
Yeah.
Like in America, so it's.
Yeah, I agree. We went pretty off track from Demon Slayer.
What genre is Demon Slayer then? Action?
I guess you could call it like.
Yeah.
I mean,
you could call it action, but actually, yeah, you're right. I guess you could. Maybe my thing is like. Maybe it's not just anime. Maybe it's just that it bothers me the lack of deeper classification that is used when referring to like movies and TV shows. Like for instance, like something like Cowboy Bebop is referred to often as like, I think like for me Cowboy Bebop is an exception because it's like it could like I guess Cowboy Bebop technically has fights in it, so I guess technically it's a shonen.
Yeah.
Although the fights aren't the focus, but like when people talk about Cowboy Bebop, they bring up things like noir and drama and all these like other like deeper kind of more specific genres that I think do more justice to explaining what the show is.
Oh, I think I have some reasoning why there's such broad genres. Because when you like search for specific like when people are like looking for anime or just different shows to watch, you just would search up like the big genres to be like, oh, I feel like watching a comedy right now, so I'll search comedy. And having that label would put the show into that category. So then there'll be more exposure, I guess.
I guess so, yeah. I guess going maybe a little bit back to Demon Slayer. What do you guys think about like like would you say that like criticize like how would you how let me word it this way, how would you go about the idea that we kind of discussed with Demon Slayer where like quote unquote like the idea of liking something even though it's kind of like quote unquote bad, I guess you could say. Like for instance, I really like the Star Wars prequels a lot. They're like my favorite movies. I love it. Well, maybe except for Episode 1. Episode 1 I don't really like, but like I love those movies, but at the same time, I think, and this is an idea I got from Critical, Penguin Z0, because he did a video about liking something even though it's bad, and it really hit me because it's like, it kind of made me realize that it's okay to, to acknowledge that something you like isn't to the higher quality of something else, but that's okay. You can still like that thing and talk about that thing. And I think for like the Star Wars prequels, it's like it's allowed me to kind of acknowledge like those movies are not as well written as the original trilogy, but it's made me feel like more okay like preferring them over the original trilogy, because like it's okay to like things that are bad. Look, bad quote unquote. That makes sense. That are not as pristine. So like what are your guys' thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, Demon Slayer is like kind of the opposite, right? Because like Star Wars, like the storyline is pretty awesome, but like obviously back then, like the special effects and all that stuff like weren't that great. Meanwhile, Demon Slayer like focuses less on the story and more of like the animations and the fight scenes.
Well, I think that's the analogy I'm making, like with the Star Wars prequels, like specifically the prequels versus the original trilogy. Because the prequels, in my opinion, I love the prequels simply because they're kind of for like, a monkey brain kind of reason. They're just more flashy. They're cooler. More spaceships, more blasters, cooler lightsabers, things exploding, all this cool shit, Like that's what I love. I guess there's also, outside of that, there is also Order 66, which I like. But I think like it's similar to the reason why I liked season 1 of Legend of Korra, and that is that the world is interesting. And I feel like, and I don't, this isn't for everyone, but for me, if a world is interesting enough, I don't give a shit about like if the story is good or if the dialogue is good. As long as I just get to learn more about that world, then like I'm good to go, for me personally. So I think like for like the prequels, the Star Wars prequels, like the world is just so big and vibrant. Like the original trilogy is kind of like, it's dull, but like that's intentional. It's the focus is on the story. It's not supposed to be flashy. But compared to like the Clone Wars, like everything is big and grand and it pops. And there's so much lore around it and world building. That's just, although Demon Slayer doesn't necessarily have that. With Demon Slayer, as you said, it's more flashy. The animations pop. It's very colorful. It has an interesting palette, and it's cool. Yeah. It also just is blatantly entertaining with like, pig mask guy. I love him. He is my son.
Inosuke.
Inosuke. I love him.
Inosuke.
Inosuke. Yes. I love Inosuke. I think that, like, again, what Demon Slayer does is even if the story, now I'm not good at like judging whether a story is good or bad, but as far as like world building goes, I think like even though it's been done before where it's like, oh, they have the same blood as the bad guys, but they're good guys, like I think that like it still does it for me. It could just be because I'm still, I'm not like in my 30s and like sick, of seeing the same shit over and over again, but I still like it. I still think it's, cool when they explore, that kind of dynamic of being a demon, but also trying to be human. And like I think like do people like really bring up, because like, is that the thing that people call basic? Because I wouldn't say that's that basic. Like I guess maybe it's basic in the sense of like it being a dynamic that exists, but as far as it like being interesting, I'd say it's pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I think it works well. I haven't read the manga, so I don't know if it gets better or worse as it goes on, but from what I can tell, it looks like, that there's definitely opportunity to use like Nezuko wanting to be human in very interesting ways. Like they could do a lot of things. They could maybe say, turn another character into a demon, or maybe like the main character turns into a demon or something, but then Nezuko as a demon ends up having to fill the role that her brother did, but she has to do it with the strain of also having an urge for blood. So it's like even more of a pressure to keep her brother from maybe eating someone else or something. I don't know.
No, that's a really good point. Like we were talking about earlier about like the black and white and stuff. Like literally every single demon that Tanjiro kills, like the demon has like a backstory of why he became a demon or whatever.
Yeah. And I guess like black, white, and gray is like, because I guess like it still is, the idea of having a gray area in a story is nothing new, which is again why you could argue it's basic. But then again, like if it's basic but it's interesting, and it's like there's this really book I love called How to Steal Like an Artist, and it basically talks about how all art is stealing ideas to for the most part. It's a lot of some of it is subconscious, but all of it doesn't just come out of nothing. It doesn't just come from us. It comes from what people in our past have done and what we've experienced. So like, rewriting the same story again is important with like music, with like paintings. All art is one thing that is interesting to accept is that everything we do has probably like an idea that we like explore has probably already been explored in the past by someone. But what it mentions in the book is that things that repeating those ideas is what's important. Is that the point is to, because of course time moves on and people forget, but by repeating those ideas we remind ourselves of those ideas and we prevent them from dying off.
Yeah, so Pablo Picasso once quoted, right?
Pablo Picasso? Who's Pablo Picasso? Pablo?
Pablo Picasso.
What's his name, right? Pablo?
Picasso.
Yeah, he was a favorite from Steve Jobs, right? Or Steve Jobs favored this specific quote, and he kind of altered it a little bit. But good artists borrow, and great artists steal.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, ready? So let's get to the fun stuff now.
I thought we
first off.
Ooh.
What?
Never mind. I was gonna say I thought we were already having a pretty fun time, but I guess things are gonna get even juicier.
Even juicier.
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, just to start off, who is your favorite Hashira?
My favorite Hashira?
Yes.
Well, let me look at the Hashira again, because probably my answer is probably just going to be bogged down to whichever one looks the coolest. Hashira. I haven't watched.
I'll send a.
I haven't watched Demon Slayer in I think 3 months. Actually, no, way longer than that. It's been
I will send
4 or 5 months.
Here is picture.
I really like Lion Guy because he's funny. He's like
Lion Guy.
He's like
the fire.
Because he has like complex feelings, but like his face just doesn't express it. He's just always smiling, and I think that's hilarious. It's like, why are you always smiling? He's like, I have a disorder. I'm sorry, I can't express anymore. I can only express happiness through my face. But deep down, I am a broken man. I think they all are pretty badass. I really like the way they look. A guy with kind of aquamarine bangs. What is he? He's the guy who's on the bottom image. He's actually no, in the top image he's the second to the left.
The mist guy?
Yeah, that guy, and then the guy in the bottom image on the far right kind of look the same to me. At least as far.
Wait, the snake boy and then the mist dude?
Yeah, them, and then the guy with the white hair who has the they're multiple guys with white hair, but the guy who the guy who stabs Nezuko.
Yeah.
Oh,
all three of them, I feel like I wish their color palettes were more bright, because you have things green pink haired girl, and then butterfly girl, and then fire boy, and then kind of subtle but really cool patterns on the kimono water guy, and then big dude with green coat, and then guy with flower tattoo. All of them, those are very unique designs. But those three is just they look so boring. so boring. Like, and
Oh,
I
here
guess
you go.
I guess you could argue that, like, Fire Guy has like a pretty boring suit, but he makes up for it with his cool hair. Okay, he looks like an actual lion, and I love
He has
that.
the main character hair.
Yeah, and then like the top guy on the bottom image, like the tallest one. I guess he doesn't have a whole lot going on, but like he's big, so he like he's cool. He's large. Like I would be fine if like they had one character with darker colors because they would stand out amongst the bright ones, but like they have like just man, it doesn't do it for me. Yeah, I still stand by my point. Uh, Muichiro, uh, Obanai. I guess Senemi makes up with his like kind of crazy personality, but just like Muichiro and like Ubanai, like they just like they no they they like they don't even need to exist to impact the story. They're just like they're actual like they're invisible. They don't exist.
Damn, bro.
They're
Okay,
fake. They're
okay,
fake
okay,
people.
That's
They're
harsh.
fake.
okay.
They're fake.
So, okay, I read the manga, right? I don't. Daphne, you haven't read.
You
the manga, right?
experience
No,
anime and manga outside with no color? I can't imagine. I guess there is fan color, but
I haven't finished it, but I'm getting close. All these characters, right? They'll all have their own like thing, right? So they'll all like get into more detail. So maybe like only because like in season one, like you only saw all of them at once, and
yeah,
then
season one didn't do much. Like I would have preferred that they waited to release season one and two alongside each other, because I would have because it's just like here's season one, now go read the manga.
I
And
mean,
like
all anime is to promote the manga.
well, yeah, I guess that's the case, but I feel like like for instance, there's some anime where it's like, yeah, I'll read the manga, but for this, it's like, no, I'm not ready to commit to the manga. You haven't shown me enough for me to be like, okay, I'm committed to this series.
okay, right. So let me just say one thing
Although,
that's just crazy to me, right? Look at this.
okay, why do some of the characters not have an age? Okay,
I don't know. They're like all under the same age.
They're all freaking like
Teenagers.
young. Yeah. This is crazy to me. I don't know why.
Oh my god, hold on. Okay. Say Zenitsu actually gets with Nezuko.
oh, that's
Right now, their age
that's
is
cutting it. That's cutting it really
is
close.
a junior dating a freshman. Honestly, there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah,
You know?
I guess like there's only a problem if like it's abusive or like toxic or like it's only a problem like if there's something wrong with it outside of it being kind of weird. If it's like if the only problem is that it's kind of weird, then there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
Just after we both reach 20.
Yes.
That's
Kayla.
Technically, the legal age of consent is 16 in where I live.
Wait, I thought that was only in Massachusetts.
No, also Connecticut.
Oh, I did not know about this.
Yeah, Mass and Connecticut are like the same thing, but Connecticut just has higher taxes, you know?
Yeah.
Yo, this is crazy, bro.
You're still looking at it?
Yeah.
What do you?
It's just really surprising. Maybe it's because, like, okay, like, when you read the manga, like, the power difference in the Hashiras and, like, the bigger demons and stuff, like, there's a huge power difference, and you'll see it. So, like, looking at them, like, seeing how young they actually are, it just, like, surprises me so much.
So
It's like if they were older, they could be more powerful.
one thing
Yeah.
I really like is actually that reminded me of something. I don't know why this reminded me of it, but the episode with like the spider-based demons was really good. It was like really good.
I agree.
Especially with like man. Also like I actually like I got really mad when they killed the girl demon who was trying to escape, who didn't want to be there.
Mm-hmm.
and they just like killed her without mercy.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, like, she did give her a chance.
Yeah, actually, it's kind of it's somewhat Tokyo Ghoul-esque with like the dichotomy of you know trying to show that these creatures are also people. They're preparing us for when we encounter aliens, and then we start having like intergalactic racism against like green people with antennae.
So now okay, this is technically spoilers, but it's not that big of a deal, right?
Honestly, I don't even know if I'm gonna watch season 2. So you can go right ahead.
Harrison, you have to.
I have to. Okay,
Come on,
I'll do it for Nezuko-chan.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me just say, what's it called? So 2 specific Hashiras have siblings, and the artist is just not good at like literally the siblings. I think I already talked about this in the past. Like, look at this, right? So the fire guy,
Yeah.
right? So he has a dad and he has a little brother. This is what they look like.
They're just him, but with like more muscles and less muscles.
Exactly.
Oh no.
It's literally exactly the
What are
same.
they like,
There's
inbred
no
or something? Actually, no. It's like small hair, medium hair, big hair. Yeah.
And then
What?
there's Mist guy.
What? They have none of their mother's traits. None of
Yeah,
them.
they do.
None of them.
That
What
not
is like
how
what is like their
biology
dad
works.
like an asexual being? Did they like did he like split apart like a cell? Like some sort of like bacteria?
Yo, like literally every time like they cut to like a different scene, like when they first showed the little brother, like I was like, oh shit, this might be like a backstory. And then he comes in, I was like, what the hell, is he older now? And then the grandpa comes in and like, I have no idea what's going on. I can't tell the difference between these characters.
What's the deal with like the artist and adding like colored tips to hair?
Oh yeah,
That's like everywhere.
I mean, they look cool.
They do. Also, I just want like I think like I guess like the only siblings I could like that look normal are like Nezuko and main character, because I guess they're main characters. So
Yeah.
what do you guys think about the argument of like outside of like authenticity, if an anime could perfectly replicate a manga by completely replicating what the artist's manga's intent was to perfection, is the anime therefore the superior experience?
Yes, I think so.
I would agree, because the only time I end up reading manga is if like either I started out the series reading the manga so I get attached to it, or like with JoJo, I don't want to wait like another year for part 6, which I already finished it, so I started reading it. Like there are instances where like a studio does like a bad job and it's like that's stupid, but like at least with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, from my experience, like not only do they do like a good job of like of making a good adaptation, but they end up actually adding stuff in that the manga didn't provide for further world building. So it ends up legitimately just being an overall better way to experience the story.
Honestly, like for Demon Slayer, I kind of started reading the manga because like a little bit of both. Like one, I was curious about what's gonna happen next, and I didn't feel like waiting however long. But also, I heard like the manga, some panels look like really, really old, and they look so hilarious. Oh my gosh!
Who's getting the head pats? That's not Nezuko.
No, it's their siblings.
Who are these people?
One
The
of
mist
them is
guy.
Oh, the mist ladies who like are like the like
no,
the.
it's a guy.
This is a man. Oh.
Yes.
Who's
And
who?
The other one is a
Exactly.
sibling.
That was his point. You can't tell the difference between the siblings.
Exactly. In fact, I still don't know the difference. I don't know which one was the bright child and which one wasn't. And actually, I think the one that's
Wait, is one of them male and one of them female?
I think they're both male.
Oh, I was gonna say if one of them was female, then it'd be really funny if one of if like some like one of them was dating a guy and then like the guy ended up by accidentally getting on a date with the other guy and then like he like gets undressed and he's like, wait, how did that get there? Just to, like, it's not even like you never told me. It's like after multiple prior experiences, it happens to be one experience where like it just appears. It is a new augmentation. The bottom one. That's so good. Oh, it's the best. Similar like with you reading the manga, one thing that like I have an experience like for me, for Tokyo Ghoul, I think I started it was actually it was the first manga I ever read. It was at Rectory, because Jake had physical copies of the manga, so he lent them to me, and I think I read through most of it up until like some of the later chapters, and then I read it online. But that's when I first I read that. But then after that, I was just like I just didn't watch the anime. Well, partly because I heard it was like really bad, and they just changed the story.
Yeah.
But I feel like even
It wasn't that good.
even if like they didn't change the story, I feel like simply because I'm attached to the manga, I might have still just read the manga. What's this character?
Yeah.
What's this character's name? I know who. Gyuy. Suzy Q.
Giyu.
Oh my god, Giyu is so hot.
Tomioka.
I just spelled out his name. Imagine if we talked if we like
Tomioka.
if we like announced each other by like spelling out our names like, what's up KLIB? Oh, I just said Klib. What's up KALIB? What's up KALIB? What's popping? What's going on KALIB?
What's going on HARRISON?
That's just too much work. No.
Nothing. How are you? I don't know how to spell your name, Daphne, because I'm small brain and yeah.
Oh, here's
Well, actually, I probably do, but it's because I'm trying to think about it while saying it. It's harder. It's like DAPH. It's weird. It's like when you have a pen, it's so much easier to like spell something when you think about it. But if you're just doing it in your head, why? I don't know why it's so much harder. Wait, it's right there. I can see it. I can see it in your name. Why?
Yeah.
On Google Meets. Oh God, I'm not.
Here's funny. Oh wait. Okay, Harrison, you probably won't laugh at this because you don't really get it, but.
I see.
You don't get it.
You don't understand. I've seen this meme before. I've seen it. And there's an Instagram account that I keep on getting told to follow that has this face. I think it's a kid who went to Rectory. I don't know who they are. Maybe I do. I don't know. Wait.
Do you get it, Daphne?
What is? Wait.
Yeah,
Wait. What is this?
So the meme. Okay. So this movie is an anime movie, like romance. Anime movie called Your Name, right? And basically the whole movie, like, well, I wouldn't say the whole movie, but like, there are two love characters who are trying to figure out each other's name, but like they don't live in the same
Are they
place.
deaf?
No.
Are they blind?
They're
That was really messed up. I'm sorry.
They're actually like in two different time periods.
How did what?
And they're switching bodies.
Oh no.
Like, every once in a while.
Are there like do they ever is it like Pokemon where like they never or like they say like you could theoretically eat the Magikarp but like we're not gonna like flat out say it? Is it like that but with like do you see where I'm going with this?
Okay, they like kind of.
You know what I mean,
Since they're in each other's lives, right? They like leave like sticky notes and like stuff like that, and then in the end, turns out like the girl like died.
Was a guy.
Because like a meteor was coming.
What?
It's kind of hard to explain.
Wait, but they're on the same planet. Did it like kill the whole
timelines?
Was it like how big was it?
The girl is like 3 years
old. Oh no.
No. Like away from him.
Oh. Wait, then how are they talking to each other then?
Because they're switching bodies.
What do you mean they're switching bodies? Like back and forth?
Like spirits.
Is it like a one-time switch, or is it like flip-flop, flip-flop, flip-flop?
So, like, one day you just wake up in a girl's body, but you're 3 years younger, but also in 2017.
We're not going into... Let's not... I'm gonna have to stop you right there, or else we're gonna have to go into the details about this. And I don't...
Well, that's
Harrison, just watch the movie, you'll understand.
Okay.
It's a good movie.
Well, the joke is Inosuke doesn't know Tanjiro's name.
He doesn't?
He doesn't. Have you seen all the videos where he gets his name wrong?
Oh.
He has never correctly said Tanjiro's name.
Is that, like, intentional? Like, why?
Because he doesn't know how to read or write.
Big face man. He's beautiful. I wish my face was as beautiful as his. My God.
Here you go. Here's a full 43 seconds of Inosuke getting Tanjiro's name wrong.
Wait, what is it? Gonpachiro Kamaboko. Manjiro. Okay, I haven't watched the anime in a while. I think I remember why I like this show. Oh. Pantaro. How many different ways are they gonna like pronounce his name wrong?
Yeah, he has not gotten his name right the entire.
Like throughout the entire manga.
Oh wait, I don't know about the manga.
No, we're gonna end it by listening to the song. 強くなれる理由を知った僕を連れて進め